How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Dark Days. My name is Juan, also known as Lost Knight, and we are going to be changing up the loadout. We're going to be taking the halberd out for a spin. Um, just because now I realized we have the requirements to one-hand it, and you see the range on this thing one-handed is actually quite ridiculous. And the second hit of the R1 is a thrust, so we still benefit from our Leo ring counter damage. Halberd, super versatile weapon. You can get a lot of slashing attacks as well as thrusting attacks. And yeah, this range, man. And the sweet spot of the weapon is right at the tip. So you see that first time we hit, we did a little bit under 200. And the second hit we actually did 217, which is some pretty nice damage right there. But this explains why we're not playing a shooter. You can see my aim is definitely not the best. That's the one up there. Get that one. Alright. So last time we were a bit careless and got cornered in the bone zone, so we're gonna try not to go there, not to repeat that same mistake anyways. You can see the two-handed range is actually much shorter. You actually lose a little bit of range than if you were to do the attack one-handed, because I feel like, well, he's walking forward now, but you see that range is insane. And the recovery animation, if you land the hit, you actually recover quicker. So if you miss the hit, your character takes a second to pull the weapon back. But if you land, it's almost immediate what your next action can be. So it's kind of a nice touch, rewarding you for the proper timing of your attacks. We won't bother with that guy down there. We don't really need to. But we do want to clear the ambush. Since we already brought the lever down, once we move up here, these guys are gonna this guy these guys should be chasing it. Yeah, there they are. Alright. This halberd range, man. Nice. And you can see we can still do the thrusting attack with our shield up. So kind of another reason why the halberd is such a good weapon. You have so many options of how you can vary your playstyle. You can attack with your shield up, two hand to do devastating slashing attacks, one hand to increase your range and have thrusting attacks. Such a cool weapon, man. Okay, let's be a little smarter this time around. We know we have to take the necromancer down first, so we're gonna try to just, wow, one hit takes these guys down. Okay, good to know. If we can take them down just long enough to get to the necromancer, it is going to make our life a little bit easier. Because then once he dies, these guys die permanently. So, and right there you see him boosting the damage. There we go. Now you're not as intimidating, because even if you gank on us, we can take you guys down pretty easily. And we want to be in this nice and open space right here. So satisfying, man. Getting that spin to win attack is just such a... And the R2 actually has the same. It's just 2 spins rather than 3. I think the running attack is 3, but you can get him with the poke. There you go. Now that's what we should have done the first time. Just not been a fool. Alright. Let's get a little bit of light going. Let's keep moving through this area. So what you have to come through here for, there's a few ways you can go. You can go here and continue through the main path forward. Let's kind of get rid of this guy right here. But we don't want to do that just yet. That will actually trigger an invader. We want to get that cage open. So one, we can access the checkpoint, access the bonfire. And two, we can talk to that NPC who, his questline along with another character which we've met already called Pate, the guy that gave us the white soapstone. Their quest is so interesting. Thematically, I think fits really well within the world of Dark Souls, but we'll discuss it as we progress through the quest line. So when we fought the last giant, we got Pate summoned. That was part of the quest, is you have to get him for the boss fight. I thought the key was supposed to be here, but okay, I guess we gotta go around the other way. So, and I think that's death right there. So, alright, we'll just go. Yeah, I don't think there's another way beyond these. Okay. Liar ahead. But yeah, so Pate, you have to get him summoned in order to progress his storyline. And he's a very peculiar character. He talks to you in a way where he acts very friendly to you. He tells you he's a treasure hunter. But when we encountered him, he told us, hey, go get the treasure. I had a guy with me. He went to get the treasure ahead and he got trapped. And I believe that is the same NPC. The guy he's mentioning that got trapped is the NPC that we're about to free. So that's how these two guys are connected. That's the way towards the boss. So we're gonna go over here. We can clear these guys first. Ooh, missed the hit with the halberd. I guess we don't really need the torch anymore, do we? We're pretty much one-shotting these guys. Nice. Get some Sunny D going. Okay, and then we have a invader key ahead, but be wary of Dark Spirit. Alright. Merciless Rowena. Is she wielding the king's shield? You're telling me Merciless Rowena killed King Vendrick, got his soul, and then made the shield? Or is that a different shield? Because, what the hell, man? This is what I mean with the NPC summons and the NPC invaders. Trying to get cheeky with a parry right there. They have such a cool, interesting gear that I feel if you expand on the lore, it would make it more interesting, you know? But they're just kind of a random encounter. And once they're done, you just kind of forget about it. There's the key that we needed. Alright. And item ahead. It's down there. And then we got the moth up here. And fell down there, but yeah. Don't really care too much for whatever that is. Alright. We are going to get through this entire area today, so yeah, we'll pretty much be done with Huntsman's Copse after this episode. See, now that we're in these narrow paths and we have the enemies pretty much coming towards us head on, the thrust attack is so efficient. so good to have options, man. The versatility of the playstyle and the way that you can personalize it, I think, is one of those characteristics that's defined from software games. Alright, we got one more guy in there, and then the guy outside. He probably a little overkill right there. Flame butterfly, nice. And then my friend. Oh, I thought that would have gotten him. Yeah. And since we hit him with the pull part of the weapon, you saw that actually did 124. Whereas when we hit the other guy with the bladed part of the weapon, it one-shot him. It's that sweet spot mechanic. And then, that's right. Get this little necromancer guy right here. It would actually be a pretty good idea to take him out here, because then when we get through to where he is, we don't have to worry about these skeletons. We could actually just kill them as we pass through, so we're just gonna snipe him from here. These homing soul masses, they move pretty slow, but they track very, very well. They'll actually track you around a corner if you're kind of late on dodging them, but they're not as egregious as a very infamous place. If you're familiar with this game, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're not, then you'll see. Alright, now that he's gone, we can keep going through here. And then here you can actually get a little peek at the boss. And this is the main way to get to the boss right here. This is the boss fog. But we want to get, I think there's another moth. One of those hidden moths around here, but I don't really know where it is. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's right. I forget, I switched where I equipped the bow. Radiant Life Gem, nice. Now another reason we switched to the halberd, you can see the durability, we're about halfway. Had we been using the S stock, we probably would have had to use repair powder at this point, or we would have broken the weapon. So another reason why we have these long enemy areas, these long combat areas. You don't want to break any of our weapons, you know what I mean? This rapier skeleton, you want to be careful. There's a certain stance he'll enter, and he'll actually parry you. And because he has the rapier, remember, rapiers and daggers do way more critical damage. So yeah, you'll regret it if you get parried by that skeleton. And this is where that sorcerer was, that necromancer. And we get combustion. Got some good memories with combustion from my first DS1 playthrough. Alright. And we get, ooh, Crystal Lizard. Estus Flask, nice. Okay, got a little pathway open right here. So if you didn't get the key, let's say you didn't find the key originally, this would be your main run back through. Hey, what are you doing here? This would be your main run back to the boss in case you died. So, dude, this guy's quick. So that's the reason why that pathway's there. Now that we have the key open and we got the bonfire open right there, let's go talk to this man.
I thought you were that bastard for a moment. You've set me free. The cheat. I have
That cheeky prick, huh?
this lamb. I joined forces with a man on them. He took the first chance he had. I decided to set a trap for him here. I can't believe that I was so dense. You be careful of him. I've seen his
He mentions him by name right there.
He's a slick tool.
Calls him a killer, somebody who kills just for the pleasure of it. And we learn fist bump. So Creighton was traveling with Pate, and when we met Pate, he mentioned that he was traveling with somebody who went on ahead for the treasure and got trapped. And then we find Creighton trapped here, which he didn't even get the treasure, you know? So you have to wonder who's really telling the truth. And that's kind of the main theme of their whole quest line, is you never know which one of them is actually being honest with you, right? Creighton tells us that he's a knight from Mira, which another mention of Mira, which is where Lucatiel is from, a land of knights and honor and all this stuff. And we can actually get him for the boss fight, which we need to do to progress the story quest. And then we find him trapped. You know, he tells us that he came to Drangleic because it's dangerous here, so it suits him just perfectly. But then he encountered Pate. He was charmed by Pate. They traveled together, and then, according to Creighton, Pate screwed him over. But then, according to Pate, Creighton just got trapped himself by being selfish. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting, and I think it's up to the player to interpret which of these two evils you really want to believe. Skeleton Lords, this is the boss fight for this area. You want to be careful not to kill all the lords at once. I like to go one at a time because it'll actually trigger skeletons to pop up, and you can get caught fighting like an army of skeletons if you just take down the lords all at once. You can see that these, I guess, lesser enemies, they share a health bar with the boss. So, ooh, alright. I might have just triggered what I was trying to avoid. But it's alright. At least they're not the bone wheel skeletons. Alright, seems Creighton just killed those guys, which are the bone wheel skeletons. So let's go ahead and just take care of them before we start spinning around all over the place. Nothing's gonna really come close to the Dark Souls 1 bone wheel skeletons from the Painted World. They were the ones that just such a unfair enemy. But these guys, they only hit you a couple times and then they kind of break away from you. Alright. That is the Skeleton Lords. Thank you, Creighton. So now that we've summoned him for this fight and we talked to him at the bonfire, it'll progress his story so we can see if we can get his armor. If we do this right, we can get both Pate's and Creighton's gear. So, yeah. And I think that's going to be it for today, wrapping up Huntsman's Copse, moving right along with the story. Yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Dark Days. I hope you guys are enjoying the playthrough, and we will keep it moving right along on our next episode, where we are going to start a few other areas. Got the skeleton sold. The old Iron King commanded the capture of all undead, but those charged with them became hateful of the curse. That's crazy. Alright, catch you guys on the next episode.